The latest episode of Doom Patrol took a break from the crazy villains that we've been getting in the previous episodes. Well, a break from the crazy villains if you don't count the final scene with Candlemaker anyway. It gave us a chance to sort of look at the characters' lives at a slower pace and see what they've been up to with some of the craziness briefly slowed down, albeit only briefly. Hello everyone, I'm DanTheMan, and these are my sort of off-the-cuff thoughts of the latest episode of Doom Patrol. First off, I wanted to say the most fun part of this episode, and the fun was definitely preceded by a lot of bad stuff, was the scenes with Cyborg and Cliff, the Steel and Stone as it were. That was some very good stuff. I really liked the 80s retro vibe and their mock theme, I guess it was. That was very entertaining. I also like seeing the characters interact in general. They are interesting because in a lot of ways their characters are similar, especially in their origins, but in quite a few other ways they're very different. The scene with Cliff being teased to possibly get more sensations and become more human was interesting. I don't know how true that is to the comics because I don't read a lot of Doom Patrol. I do know that Cliff did change his look several times, including that sort of spider look that was in the drawing of Niles Caulder, that for all the horrible stuff we saw this episode, that's the one that will haunt my nightmares, but I don't know exactly where they're going with this. If they say it would take decades, I highly doubt the show will be on that long, so I would assume they're going to fast-track this in some way, that or have something happen to rule out Cliff getting those sensations, maybe to further drive a wedge between him and the Chief, I'm not sure. But either way, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't have much to say about the Cyborg storyline, I'm just really not feeling it. This seems kind of like a random thing. I get where they're trying to go with it as far as giving Cyborg more depth with the character who's somewhat similar to him but has made different choices, but it just isn't working with me. I don't know if this is a character that's from the comics or not. I don't recognize her, but again, especially if it's someone from Doom Patrol or Vertigo in general. If it's not Fables, I don't know much about Vertigo either, to be honest. But I just am not getting where they're going with this. It just feels like they don't know what to do with Cyborg now that the storyline from Season 1 is done and he isn't going over to Titans. So, I don't know. Maybe it's going somewhere. Maybe it's setting up for something to go somewhere in Season 3 if we get a Season 3, but it's just kind of boring to me right now, honestly. Larry's storyline was my favorite part of the episode. My favorite in that it was the most interesting episode, not in that it was the easiest to watch. I had a feeling that his son was setting him up for something. It just wasn't very realistic for someone to be that quick to forgive him like he did, or like he seemed to, rather. I mean, that son had some pretty legit grievances with Larry, with what he put him and the family through. I just had a hard time after all that time he was going to welcome Larry as his father, and sure enough he didn't. It was definitely heartbreaking for Larry. I am glad they kind of touched up, now that they've gotten his coming out story out of the way, on the fact that his decisions, while somewhat understandable given the time period, were selfish and that they did put his family through a lot at his expense. So I do like that they touched up on that. I'm not sure if that's the end of the story or not. I'm sure that Larry's fallout with seeing his grandson potentially killed, at least indirectly through his own doings, will probably go somewhere, but not sure where specifically they're going with that. And then of course we got the main storyline with Baby Doll and Dorothy. I do like seeing Diana's portrayal as Baby Doll. A lot of people found it annoying, but I think she does a good job with it. And having her interact with Dorothy just made sense, because, at least intellectually, they're the same age, although, for different reasons, neither of them are as young as they appear to be, or I guess I should say as young as they act, because in Baby Doll's case, she definitely doesn't appear to be a child. But it was interesting seeing them there. The fallout was definitely ugly, but then again, if little kids had superpowers, that's pretty much probably what would happen. You have people with kids' emotions and very dangerous powers, and I think we should all be thankful that kids don't have superpowers in the real world. Parents, I'm sure, especially are, but I think it's good for all of us, as this episode showed. It was definitely shocking to see Baby Doll's death. I guess she's dead. As well as the flame girl that's Jane's personality. I'm not sure what her name is. Is it Lucy Fire? I believe it is. If not, I'll put a caption on here when I edit the video to show how wrong I was. But that scene was interesting. I like the scenes in the underground. I mean, they somewhat rob us of seeing the actress play the different characters, which is the most fun with Jane's character. but it is fun to see them explore the underground. I think they did a good job with it. It was definitely surprising to see the seeming death of Baby Doll. Don't know where that's going. I would only assume that would be very damaging to Jane. I'm sure we'll find that out in the next episode. And it was very shocking, although it was a shame that Dorothy's friend had to die because that big lug didn't do anything but defend Dorothy. Just not cool. Not cool at all. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the episode. I don't have as much to say as some of the others. It's not because I didn't like the episode. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a great character piece, and it was a nice sort of slowdown with all the craziness that we've been having before. I mean, there was still craziness in here, but at least it wasn't quite as much craziness. We got to sort of check in on the characters' lives and see them coping with the ups and downs of their lives. And we got to set up for what will certainly be some exciting stuff for the episodes to come. But that's basically my thoughts on the episode. I definitely am looking forward to next episode. I want to see what happens with Jade, and based on the teaser, some other crazy stuff will happen too. So that should be fun. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. I'm Dan the Man, and I'll see you next time.